Joe.
Welcome to our Charles and Joe show.
Yes, I love it. And this week we've got an interesting topic. What are we talking about, Joe?
Yeah, we're going to talk about our favorite books we've been reading.
Yes.
So yes, because I think so important to read and educate our minds and stretch and feel and see where what those books do for us. So, what book are you reading right now or have read?
Two going on at the moment. I want to show you this one. This is called The New Civilization. It's by the Russian
Mm,
author Vladimir Migra. Okay. This is book eight in a
mm,
series. Okay. Now, it started with this book, and I started this one last year. It's called Anastasia. And it's about a woman that lives in the Siberian forest. Oh my God, I love it. So good. Then the book two was The Ringing Cedars of Russia. Oh my God, about trees. If you love trees, it's amazing. So there's so
mm.
much wisdom. The next one was called The Space of Love. And I've got to get to Russia. There's so much passion. This one's called Co-Creation, about how we create with God and what we want our earth to be. These are all set about how we should be living our lives and what the processes are, the struggles we face in humanity in the 21st century. Coming from a woman that's very isolated in the Siberian forest and lives in grass, doesn't have a house, doesn't have clothes, lives on grass, lives with the animals and the birds and the bees and nature. And that's what this is. Who are we? So it's talking about who we are, and it's like how we fit into the what, how we fit into the big picture, what we need to do. This was really interesting. This was called the Book of Kin. This is about our forebears and how much influence they have on our lives, and we carry their genetics and their DNA. So this was a really interesting book. And then this one got a bit heavy. This is called The Energy of Life. This is
Mm.
about religion and its impact on society and stuff like that, as foreseen by this woman. And well, some of these books, I've had these books since August last year. Some of these books have taken a while to read. It's like I'll pick it up and I've got to integrate the stuff and then I'll put it down and I might put it down for 3 or 4 weeks, pick it up and go again. So there are 9 books in this series. I am up to book 8 of that. These books you can't get anymore. So I've got a beautiful friend that's allowed me to borrow these books. You cannot get them anymore. What happens now is on YouTube, there are English versions of people reading these books to you. So if you like an audio book, you can download the book on YouTube, and
Oh,
there
nice.
are 9 in the series. They take a lot to integrate because there's a lot of wisdom that comes from this woman and her grandparents in the Siberian forest. That's ongoing. That's an ongoing project, Joe. But my heart is always full, and I look at them as like, oh my God, there's wisdom. So that's that. I've just finished this one, The Unquiet Dead. This is
Nice.
about a psychologist who is looking at spiritual possessions on people. And you know how sometimes people will go into a doctor and they hear voices, and then the doctor might put them on antipsychotics and stuff like that. This beautiful psychologist thought it's got to be a better way. It can't always just be that I'm going to medicate. And she's dedicated her career, Dr. Edith Fiore, dedicated her career in actually understanding that science comes together with metaphysics, and there might be other reasons why people are hearing voices in their head. So she started to do hypnosis on people, and she's sort of asking them, who's here? Who's here with us? And it's like, if it's Joe, but it's like, Albert comes up. It's like, Albert, who are you? Oh, I've been with Joe for a very long time. And that's the voice that makes Joe want to dance all the time. And then she gets rid of Albert. And then the next one comes up. It's like, oh, I'm Jennifer. And I'm the one that forces Joe to drive erratically because I'm so stressed with life. And what she's been able to do over years is clear people's attachments, energetic attachments. And in the book, it's an amazing book to get. You can only get it on eBay because it's out of print since 1982. She gives you the techniques on how to depossess people. And it's just like, whoa. And these are not heavy depossessions. These are just lost souls that didn't cross over to the light.
Yes.
So there's that. So I've got that one going on. This is the one I take when I'm on a plane, Joe. So I've got lots of books going on.
Right. Yeah.
Opening to Channel. Okay. This is about channeling and getting your spirit guides and stuff like that. And Joe, I've actually made a decision. I've started something and it's huge. Have a look. You're going to go, oh my God, Charles, what are you doing?
Ah, nice. Astrology. I love astrology. I'm so getting into astrology.
Same. And it's just like something drew me to astrology. We went to a bookshop in Melbourne, and I saw this book, and it's like, oh my God, this book's, I think, got everything. Look how thick it is. This book's got everything I need to know about astrology. I'm 20
Yes.
pages in, Joe. I'm so confused. It's ridiculous in a good way.
Yeah.
Conjunctions, oppositions, meridians, all of the different terms. So what I've realized with this book is I've got to go and buy a notebook or just get a notebook so that when they discuss, opposition, I'm just going to quickly write down what it is. It's in the back, it's in the glossary. But when you're reading it, you just got to remember, and conjunctions and meridians and ellipticals and made heavens and all of this sort of stuff. It's very interesting, and something's pulling me along this way. So it's like I've got to understand more about
Yeah.
astrology. And it's really interesting at the start of this book, because she goes into the history of it, and she talks about astronomy and astrology went hand in hand. When I was a
Ah,
teenager, I wanted to study astronomy. So the stars have always been really important to me. And it was in a scientific way more so than an astrological way. So I always said, oh, astrology, not doing it. But I always used to read my stars when we get the Sunday paper. I'd always read the stars, always. So it's
mm.
like, oh my God, 55, I'm starting to undertake an astrological career. So I'm going to be looking at charts, and this thing says don't create your charts on the computer, create them by hand. You'll understand them more and what all the different planets mean and how it all fits in. So it's really interesting, and I'm already seeing patterns that I didn't really understand with the zodiac signs. So it's just like, oh, something's awakening in me, Charles. It's like, you understand this already on a different level, and you're just sort of starting to reawaken. So that's what I've got going on. There's a lot of books there, but as I said, a lot of those Russian books by Victor Vladimir Miga, I started them last year, and it's a whole series. I've got two to go. So, but the other ones I just jump on a plane and I'll read or I listen to a lecture and stuff like that. So books are really, really important, especially coming into winter. Nothing better. Sit on the couch under a blanket, get your book out, get a cup of tea going, get that
Yeah.
wisdom into you. Let's go.
Yes. And funny you should say that with astrology. I didn't understand like midheaven and, sun, moon, rising and all that stuff. And then I found a site that you could actually put your date of birth in and then it would tell you your sun, moon, rising. Because I'm a Libran, but sometimes I'd go, oh, I don't really associate really well with a Libran, like on some things. So then I found this astrologer. Now I want to say her name is Helen Hathaway, and she's
Okay.
doing a retreat in Bali in January. And I'm like, oh, God, I really want to go. I'm not a fan of Bali, but I really want to do her astrology retreat. So, and again, I've never been into astrology. I was like, make your own luck, do it all that. But funny that we're both starting to go. And Pam Gregory, oh, love Pam Gregory on. Do
Seen
you
her on
ever?
YouTube. I've seen her on
Yeah,
YouTube. She comes up
yeah,
on YouTube quite a lot. There's a lot, and I watch this woman. If I can find it, I'll link it in the description. If she's not in her 80s, I'll be a monkey's uncle. And she sits there and she's got cardboard cutouts of everything. She's got the chart, and she goes,
yeah,
"This is what America's going through now. This is what the world's going through now. This is what this person's got." And she just does 20-minute videos, and it makes so much sense. And it's just like
yes,
I love her perspective. So. Okay, so
yeah,
I'm going to pop up Pam Gregory, and I'll find if I can put up this other lady. Um,
yes.
Consider that retreat, Joe. It might be something worthwhile.
Yeah,
January, though,
yeah,
was
no.
a very busy time in Bali. A lot of school holidays there.
Well, yeah, and then I'm kind of like, I think she's going to do it again a little bit later on. Like she did one, but by the time I saw it, she'd booked out. So I was like, anyway. But yeah, I really want to do it because it's all about this retreat in January is all about clearing your karma of what you wanted to achieve, clearing karma in this lifetime from your birth chart. So I'm like, oh, that could be handy.
I
We could
like
go
it. It's
together.
it's so good, and it's intrigued me. But as I said, 20 pages in, and I've got to say this is an amazing book. It's 500 pages, but the text is so small because they've got to
Oh,
cram everything in, and it's just like, oh my God, I take my glasses off. I've really got to concentrate when I read it. So
uh-huh.
20 pages at a time. I'll get there in about 3 years, but we'll get
Yeah,
it. We'll get it done.
that's right. Yeah, but I think there's a lot to play with your astrology. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so,
And I think you've got East and Western astrology as well. So this is mainly, I
yes,
think, the Western astrology. But if you want to go into the Eastern astrology, there's
yes,
that. And I've actually asked a friend of mine, his name's Vic, and I've asked if he wants to come on the show and talk to us about astrology.
yeah.
He said yes, but he's got some stuff going on at the moment. So when he's good, we're going to have him on, guys, and he can
Oh,
talk about,
great.
he does both East and West. And he's just
Oh,
like, the wisdom that comes out of Vic is just like, oh my God, you're like an old wise sage. and you know things. You've studied the sky, and yeah, it's interesting.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I and numerology, that's the other thing that I think, oh, like,
Yeah,
you know,
same.
mm,
Numbers are
yeah, yeah.
special. Numbers are special for whatever reason.
Yeah, yeah, totally. So
What are you
yeah.
reading,
Oh, well,
Joe? What's going on in your library at home?
right. Well, I listen. I'm a listener of audiobooks, so I do that. The book that I stumbled upon was Start With Yourself, and it's from Emma Greed. I just sent you a picture so you can pop it up. She's more of, so is an English lady, and she's obviously English. She's shut in a poor part of London, I think, and she has then made it to being like she's on Oprah and all that sort of stuff with being a successful entrepreneur business lady. What I loved about her is that there's a little bit of a culture where if you're a busy um, person that wants to own businesses for a woman, it there's a little bit of a perception that you're a hustler and you work too hard and what about your children and
Yeah,
all that sort of
neglecting your
stuff.
family, all of that sort of hoo-ha.
Yeah, where she really addresses it, and I can really relate to her. I kept thinking to myself, "Oh, we must be in the same spiritual family because I'm thinking the same things." Like so, and it just addresses about how women's relationships in business are, where men are very black and white, like where women take it very personally with particular things, where yeah, I guess for me, I look more of, on a male level about business, and so I don't very rarely let my heart get tangled up in it. And she doesn't either. But I have noticed that sometimes I don't offend people, but people don't understand where I'm coming from, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's the
Where
divine
she
masculine, that directness that wants to come out and just get things done, get it sorted out.
Yeah, and she's very similar. So if you're a lady in business and you feel like you're not the wooey, like I'm in the woo woo, I'm in the spiritual stuff, but with business things and how I want to be successful, I'm different to most women. And I'm so okay with that. But if you're in women a business and you're struggling, and you're a woman, obviously, you're struggling with of how to run your business and things that you feel are too soft and whatever, this is a really good one to read. I loved it. I listened to it in I think 4 days because it was so on to what I wanted to listen about. But she started 4 or 5 different businesses, and she sort of says, and the other thing that I loved also about her stuff is that she talks about the younger generation where you can't work 3 days and expect to have a big career. And I've been saying that for a long time, where not all the generation in their 20s and 30s now, but majority of them want to have a lifestyle, but then equally whinge when they can't buy a house or get ahead in life. And she talks about that. There's also been a few ladies that really wanted to work from home and not within the office. And I kept saying to them, you'll get left behind because the people in the office is what the CEOs will see,
Yeah.
you know. And they kept saying to me, no, no, Joe, it's not like that. And she talks about that too, where they will get left behind. They need to be in the office with discipline and structure and all that sort of stuff. So I thoroughly loved her book. She has her own podcast channel, and she's on a lot of other podcasts because she's been interviewed all around because of the book launch. So yeah, so I really love her. If anyone's interested in a book about women and the culture of women in business now. So
Yeah. Good.
so
What
that's
else are you
my
reading? You like, because you do the audio books, what else have you been listening to? Any particular authors that you like or anything like that?
um let me have a think. I'll flick to my
Because
little
I know,
audio.
okay, I know for a lot of our viewers, if you're starting a spiritual journey, you're looking for somebody to read or something to read. Paulo
Yes.
Coelho, The Alchemist. If you've never read The
Oh,
Alchemist, read The
yes.
Alchemist.
Yes. I love that one. Let me just go to my library and tell you what I've just um where does it say?
The Alchemist is a great book, and then he's got lots of different books after that, and they'll really make you
Yes.
think because The Alchemist is a great story. All of a sudden, he brings in the wind, and this boy talks to the wind, and the wind's telling him things. It's like, whoa, okay, now we're getting a
Yeah.
bit out there, and he pushes
Yeah.
you. So his books are amazing. Paulo Coelho, I'll link him in the description. He's a
Yes.
Brazilian author.
Yes.
He's a wizard. Amazing, amazing.
Amazing. I just can't seem to see where my
It's okay. Do you
um,
have any spiritual people that you follow, Joe? Anybody that you like? Do you read is it Brené
oh,
Brown? Have you read any of her books?
oh yeah, I've heard the Atlas one. I loved that one.
Yeah,
I really liked, and again, oh, it's starting. Gabrielle Bernstein's "The Universe Has Your Back." I
yeah,
love that one.
yeah,
She's not spiritual, but she's very good at affirmations, and I've seen her in concert,
yeah.
or not concert, but you know what I mean. The other
A
one
live
that
event.
yeah, and this is an Australian lady, "The Five Regrets of Dying," by Bronnie Ware. So I love that book. She was so good. So she actually lives near me somewhere, I think. And it is spiritual, but it's very you know, when you get stuck in the day-to-day stuff and you're like, she brings it to the forefront about, because she was a palliative care carer,
Yeah.
and she talks about what people are regretful when they're dying, and it's very interesting. It's also gave me, for me, I am a bit of an attachment to things,
Yeah.
and she talked about, it's not in, it's they're the least things that you worry about.
And that's probably a book, Joe, that everybody needs to read to give
Yeah.
them a proper perspective on life, because this is wisdom that this woman's garnished from multiple people that she's seen cross over at the end of their existence. And what
Mm.
they're realizing is what I gave all of my attention to might not have been the most
Yes.
appropriate thing, you know? And as you said, if it's things, that's great, but things are things. But if she's not,
Yeah.
I haven't read the book, but if it's I hope she's talking about connections with people and stuff like that to make them feel a part of something, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, sorry. And then the other one I've read just recently and I've re-listened to is The Let Them by Mel Robbins. Love that lady. So that was very controversial because people get really funny about that book. But I think, sometimes you just have to let people go. Like, you know,
I suggest it all the time. If they're not in your highest good, let them do them. And if that doesn't align with you, well, you've got to do you.
yes,
So that's not a bad place to be. And what I like, Joe, is we're giving our listeners and viewers options to start looking at different things spiritually. And as I said, it doesn't have to be anything about learning, but it's just about like those people giving you advice and then take that advice if it suits you. If it doesn't
yes,
suit you, you don't touch it. You just, okay,
yeah.
I'm just going to let it sit there. And that's what I like about all of the books that I've read, and you will have loved about what you've read. There's
Thank you very
advice
much.
and wisdom that comes in, and it's like off we go.
Yes. I think, yeah, for me, I just think, and sometimes the other thing that I love to talk about books is that sometimes you can start a book and you go, oh, that's not for me right now. That's too many buttons pushing on my, like, for me. And then, you'll put it down, and then you might, even a year later, you might then pick it up and you go, oh, no, I can resonate with that now. Um, and this is really yucky, really, but I'll say it anyway. I actually have toilet books.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
so they stay in the toilet area, and they're my, like, little favorites. Even my book, my girlfriend goes, I've got your book as the toilet book, because she said I
Love
just
it.
flick open the page and then go, oh, well, that's the page I'm reading while I'm pooping today. So I know it sounds a bit gross, but I think sometimes it's also, if you're not a reader or you're on the go, or it's you've got kids in the car all the time and you can't do audiobooks, have a couple of toilet books.
Yes. Because sometimes you could be there for a few minutes and it's like I could be using that time, enriching my mind whilst my body's having a bit of a purge.
Yes, because often people take their phones to the toilet, and I think that's ultra yucky because there's germs there. So
Yeah.
I just think, have a couple of toilet books to read.
That's clever, Joe. I love that. I've never heard of that. So that's a clever concept. I love it.
Yeah, I like the Four Agreements is one of my
Oh
toilet
yeah.
books.
Yeah. Is that
You
Don
know,
Miguel Ruiz?
yes, yes, and then he's got the Fifth Agreement. I've got that one there as well. You Can Heal Your Life is one of my other toilet books.
Louise Hay?
Um, Louise Hay, and then Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, because that's like a little book, and it's got little, like, it's just got a couple of paragraphs and then that's it. Yeah, and then I'm not a fan of The Secret, but I do. That's one of my toilet books because it's just got about. It brings you back into the thing about you know of being very present with what you want to manifest.
bringing it in.
Mm.
So there you go,
So
guys. So pop in the comments what you're reading. Have a suggestion to us what we should be reading if you think that you've found a book and it's either a spiritual book, doesn't even have to be a spiritual book. It could be a fictional book, but you've got something from, and let us know in the comments because sometimes you might find a piece of wisdom, like Paulo Coelho, half fiction, sometimes real. And it's like, but there's wisdom in all of his books. Let us know what you're reading. Let us know what you've gained a lot of wisdom from, and then we can share that with the community.
yes, yes, excellent. And do you have anything coming up, lovely?
I have a Palawa class. So I'm doing a weekend of Palawa and it's July 11 and 12. So on the Saturday we do level 1, on the Sunday we do level 2. And again, limited to 4 students. So that's on July 11 and 12. So email me, amantiamoon@gmail.com if you're interested. Lunch is provided and it's a lot of fun. You've done it with me, Joe. We have a lot of
Yeah.
fun and Palawa is a great technique. What about you, Joe? Got much coming on? What's going on in your world?
Yes, well, I'm not sure if they're on my website yet because Jess has to put them on for me, my lovely web lady. But on my Joe Plater Clairvoyant page, I've got my 5-day clairvoyant course retreat from the 14th to the 21st of September. And that is accommodations included, and it's at a lovely beach called Valor Beach, which is 10 minutes down the road and it overlooks the ocean. So everything's provided there. A 5-day retreat learning about how to be clairvoyant, your 5 clairs, clearing blocks, learning about the chakra system, the 16-point chakra system. So that's there on the website. And there's an early bird offer if anyone's interested. There's also, if you want to do it a bit slower, I'm going to do it over 7 months, so 9 Sundays, and that's at Alchemy. So so the dates aren't on the website for that yet, but you can just message me and I'll let you know about that one. And then I'm doing now the dates I don't know, this one I can't remember the dates for this one, but I'm doing a Reiki master, but I'm also doing a level 1 and level 2 of the Holy Fire Reiki as well. So that and then for my students who have been with me, who've done the 5-day class, I'm doing a 3-day advanced retreat style one as well. So there's lots. And then in November, I'm doing the last Saturday of the month, a manifesting for 2027.
Look at
So yeah,
you. Lots
I know.
coming up, Joe.
It's
So it's
all
all
good.
on the
Yeah.
website. It'll be all on your website.
All on my joanneplater.com.au, or you can email me, joanne@alchemyandbellingen.com.au. Or if you go to my Facebook page, Joe Plater Clairvoyant, it's all there under the events. But you can either, if you want to pay cash, if you're a cash type of person, you can duck into Alchemy and pay or just transfer. But there's also part payments that will be on the website too. So,
You.
yeah.
It's nice to have the options of, payment plans and stuff like that. It just makes it easier for people to do
Mm.
that. So go you. All right, guys, don't
Yeah.
forget to like, subscribe, and share. And as I said, put in the comments what you like to read and whether it's just a Mills and Boon. I've got one of my best friends, all she does is Mills and Boon because it's fantasy and stuff like that is so good for your imagination. Go off, go
Yes.
out and see it, go and imagine things. So let us know what you read and then share it, and then we'll share it with our viewers. So
Perfect.
thank you very
Excellent.
much.
Thank you,
Look forward to
lovelies.
seeing you next week. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
Excellent. See you later. Bye.
Bye, guys.